and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Lexi Watson, the CEO and founder of Oakley Wellness, and I help people struggling with brain fog, concentration issues, really anything to do with the brain. And I do this through a holistic functional medicine-based approach. Today I wanted to talk all about toxins and how they affect the brain. And so I wanted to start today talking about total toxic load. You see, most of the time when we're affected by toxins, it's not necessarily just one. It's actually low levels of a lot of different toxins that then overwhelm our detoxification system, because our detoxification system is having to deal with all of these little toxins all at the same time. And so we refer to this as the total toxic load because it's about everything that you're exposed to. Now, how do these toxins then go from just being in your body to affecting how your brain functions? So there's several different ways that these toxins can directly and indirectly impact your brain function. Just a handful include using up a bunch of the nutrients that your brain relies on to function properly, such as those that are needed to detoxify them, like magnesium and methyl donors. A lot of the same nutrients are used in various different pathways in how the brain functions, from sending signals to making new cells. You get the picture. But some of these can directly block the pathways of your brain function, such as the pathways to actually make your brain chemicals or neurotransmitters. These include things like serotonin and dopamine and norepinephrine, the things that make you feel happy or focused or loved. They can even impair blood flow or cause direct inflammation in the brain. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but your brain is encased by this thing called a skull. And when there's inflammation in other areas of the body, it causes swelling. But in the brain, there's not much room to accommodate swelling, so inflammation in the brain can be a big problem. So having an overload of toxins, it's like throwing a wrench in a well-oiled machine. Things start to sputter and slow down a little bit. Not to mention, when the body is exposed to toxins, it tries to get it away from vital organs as fast as possible. And how it does that is to store it in fatty tissue. Well, guess what? Your brain is made of a lot of fatty tissue, and so toxins can even be stored in your brain. How scary is that? Now, there's several different types of toxins, but I'm going to boil it down into three main categories today: chemical, biological, and physical. Let's start with chemical. Chemical toxins are things like heavy metals, pesticides, herbicides, plasticizers, preservatives, and volatile organic compounds. A lot of times heavy metals can be found in our air, food, or water, but even some of the products we used, like lead-based paint, which unfortunately is still a big part of the products that we use today. For example, as much as I love Pyrex, the glass measuring cups that have the red writing on the outside, that red paint has lead in it. Chemicals called parabens are commonly used as preservatives, especially in personal care products. But parabens can mimic estrogen in the body and throw off your hormones, causing hormonal imbalance. Well, guess what? Estrogen is a neurotropic hormone that dictates how your brain functions. So if you have hormonal imbalance, your brain is going to suffer too. Phthalates are compounds found in fragrances and can also contribute to hormone disruption and other health concerns. Sulfates, like sodium lauryl sulfate, are harsh detergents that are often used in things like shampoo and soap, and they can be irritating to the skin. Now, those volatile organic compounds I mentioned earlier, those are often found in aerosols and paint. So as you can see, chemical toxins are pretty much everywhere in our environment right now. But there are clean products out there. You just have to look for them. And I've done a lot of the searching for you and compiled a treasure trove of clean, non-toxic products on my website, and I'll link that page in the description below for you. And in a later video, I'll be going over practical tips that you can take to start lowering your total toxic burden today. So let's move on to biological toxins. Biological toxins are toxins that come from living organisms like mold and bacteria, viruses, parasites. And let me tell you, they can be quite toxic. This is actually how we discovered penicillin. But these things can damage cell tissue, including brain tissue. Some of these microbes can be found on food or in water-damaged buildings, or even outside in your backyard. Some can be transmitted through insect bites. But the bottom line is they can all be identified and treated. Now, physical toxins are things like radiation and electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, that come from electronics. As you can imagine, these are also pretty ubiquitous in our environment today as we're constantly surrounded by technology. Now, these things can either cause direct damage to cell membranes, cell structures, even DNA, and they can also disrupt the energy signaling within the body. So while we're all exposed to various toxins throughout the day, I'm not here to scare you. Our bodies are actually really well equipped to handle many toxins at the same time. However, over the past 50 years, we've developed a lot of new chemicals and not done any safety testing on them. So we've just added thousands and thousands of new chemicals into our total toxic load mix. And at the same time, a lot of our nutrition and lifestyle has decreased the proper inputs for our bodies to be able to detoxify these things properly. So we're kind of in a lose-lose situation right now. The good news is you can change that. And again, I'll be going over practical tips to get you started in a later video. But for now, I want you to be aware of what these toxins are so that you can start looking for them and identifying them in your own life. And second, I want you to be able to identify if you might be toxic or have a high total toxic load. So we're looking for symptoms such as brain fog, fatigue and weakness, coughing, wheezing or shortness of breath, loss of balance, depression and or anxiety, dizziness, eye irritation or tearing, headache or light sensitivity, hearing loss, heightened sensitivity to chemicals or food, irregular heartbeat, morning stiffness and or joint pain, mood swings, muscle weakness, skin rashes, sleep problems or visual changes, poor memory or difficulty finding words, difficulty concentrating, unusual skin sensations like tingling or numbness, increased urinary frequency or increased thirst, abdominal pain, diarrhea and or bloating, disorientation or a metallic taste in the mouth. If you had any of those symptoms, and especially if you had multiple, please let this be your wake-up call that something is not right. Stay tuned for that later video on practical tips to start reducing your total toxic load, but know that you don't have to navigate this journey alone. If you're concerned about your total toxic load and its effects on your brain health, I'm here to offer guidance and support. Through specialized testing and a personalized approach, I can help you assess your toxic burden and take the necessary steps to reduce it. But please remember, reducing your total toxic load is a journey. It is not a sprint. That can actually be really dangerous. And I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Together, we can work towards a lighter, healthier, and clearer path to improved brain function for you. You can have your brain back. I'm gonna add the link to my calendar in the description below. Feel free to pick a time that works for you so we can chat. So I hope this was helpful and you learned a little bit today. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to follow me elsewhere. I've got all that linked in the description below. I'll see you next time.